wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. Um, man, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I hope your holiday was productive, peaceful, quiet, drama free. Because they still out there acting a fool, going like they crazy, you know. Um, but hey, man, a new year's coming up. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about 2024. Um, you know, yesterday and today is a new moon, and it's been raining both days. And when a farmer plants his crops, the very next thing he gonna do is water it. And see, this is the time that if you have any kind of dreams or aspirations or hopes, you believing for some stuff, this is the time that you should be planting it while the ground is fertile, because that's what water makes the ground do, become fertile. Okay? So don't complain about the rain. The rain is a blessing because rain brings fertility. All right? So a lot of y'all don't, take some of this stuff as a joke. But the Bible say as above, so below. And the atmosphere is changing. Oh no, let me rephrase that. The atmosphere has changed. We just haven't gotten the full impact of the change. But one of the things that I try to do when I'm at the White House is to bring cultures together. I introduce music from other countries to each other. A lot of people have never heard music from some of these other countries. The only thing they're used to is the genres from their country. And there are thousands, millions of musicians in the world that's got all kinds of music. And music is the one thing that can hit you and you ain't gonna feel no pain. That's the sweet thing about music. Music, either you're gonna like it or you ain't. But you ain't gonna feel no pain from that. None whatsoever. If some people were smart, they would start taking advantage of what I'm doing. I mean, countries should be paying me to play their national anthem anytime some of their citizens come to the White House. And it's amazing every time a dignitary comes to the White House, they play that dignitary's national anthem out of respect. Okay? And yet, when regular people come to the White House, I play their national anthem, they look at me like a cow looking at a new gate. Why is he doing that? What is he not saying? Man, dog, this dude playing music from my country. They look at you like, how come he playing that music? Why is he playing music from my country? That's how they be looking at me. Why is he doing that? Instead of saying, wow, thank you. Man, they be like, why is he doing that? Instead, they got the cameras out, videoing it now. You know, because they going to send it somewhere. But they still want to. Why is he playing music from my country? And some folk, I mean, try to slip some political stuff in there. You know, some of them try to slip their little political message, and if it's something that I'm not comfortable with, I will turn it off. You know, I don't have to know what you're saying. I can just feel the vibe of it. And if I don't like the vibe of what I'm playing, I turn it off. Now, here's the flip side. See, this is what these fools don't realize that's coming down there trying to get me to play all this political shit in front of the White House. See, somebody watching know what you're doing. And now you just making some eyes zero in on you. But you're going to come up think you being slick with me, and in actuality, you exposing yourself. That's all you're doing, is exposing yourself. So come on down there with your bullshit. They paying attention. They'll know. I'm sure they know. And that's one of the things I tell people. You know, I see people come in, and I be trying to ask them, where you from? And they scared to even speak. And I'm like, I'm sitting right in front of the police. Who are you scared of? I'm sitting right in front of the police. To my right and to my left. Police, cameras everywhere. Why are you afraid of me? Don't you think if I was some kind of threat, that Secret Service would not let me sit there peacefully every day? I mean, serious. But you got to have some balls to go down in front of the White House and try to do some shit. I mean, you out of your mind. Are you just out of your mind? Because of all the places you want to go, why there? Knowing the response you're going to get. See, it ain't like you don't know what to expect. You know you're going to get a response. And see, and let me tell y'all something. The sniper, the DC sniper, is the one that taught law enforcement about blockades. Man, it got to a point where if this guy would strike somewhere, man, they shut down all of 495. All the way around, man. Maryland, Virginia, DC, shut down 495. And that makes all of the traffic come to a screeching halt. You know, now DC ain't but 10 square miles by law. We can only be 10 square miles. And you can cool believe, if somebody come down there and try to do some shit in an automobile, they ain't gonna get far. Because they're gonna have, all they got to do is just start blocking up one or two streets, and traffic gonna come to a screeching halt. Now where you gonna go? That's all they got to do. They ain't got to chase you. They ain't got to do, man, just block up some streets. And you grass. Especially if you don't know the city. And even if you did, you still gonna get caught up in the traffic. And they're gonna have bikes all up on your ass. Okay? Oh, they'll be following you on some bikes. For real. I remember they had this well, first, this guy came, and he was looking off in my bucket. And I'm like, man, don't do that. Ain't nothing in there for you. Homeless guy. And showed me who he was. And I didn't think he would be that stupid in front of Secret Service. But a young black kid was having a little scuffle with Secret Service, and I turned my back on him, and he stole my bucket. And matter of fact, took all the money, dumped it in his bag, and threw the bucket away. Right? So they closed the park. As I get up on 8th Street, I tell one of the sergeants, I said, man, this guy stole my money. He said, for real? I said, yeah. He said, no problem. We'll go back and have him look at the camera. And I gave him my number. And well, after a while, I just left, man, because that like, Gamer, what's going on? That just like robbed my spirit. So about 30 minutes later, they called me and said, we found the guy that stole your money. But we couldn't hold him because we couldn't get in touch with you. So we had to let him go. I said, okay, fine. And the next day he didn't show up, but the day after, he came back again. And Secret Service came and said, Don, listen, the guy that stole your money is right up there. They're typing the warrant as we speak. Do you want to press charges? I said, if he that stupid that he can come back to the scene of the crime, let him stay out here on the street. Jail would be a step up. Okay? But now I know what he looked like. And I just start pointing him out, hey, y'all, we got a thief among us. Don't turn your back on him. Don't turn your back on him, because he going to get you. And just make it uncomfortable for him, man. You know? But see, the name of the game right now is, how do you get people to come to you and spend money? That's tourism is the name of the game. Because trust me, COVID did a number on tourism. Okay? The number one industry that took a hit from COVID was tourism. So now people are trying to do what they can and everything they can to get people to start coming back to them. So you're gonna need some encouragement. It's just that simple, countries. You need some encouragement. You need to start using some examples. And why some country has not said, wait a minute, he's playing national anthems in front of the White House, let's hire him. So that every time our countrymen come, what's going on, New York? He can play the national anthem for them. See, people take something that simple for granted. And it's not. Everybody don't get a chance to hear their national anthem in front of the White House. Everybody don't get that. And I'm the first one to come up with the idea. Ain't nobody else ever came up with this idea. Nobody but me. I came up with this. Is my idea. So, and I tell people, what are the odds of our paths crossing again in front of the White House? Slim and none. Because a lot of y'all come in here, and this will be the only time you see it in person ever in your life. The only time. And people take it for granted that they got another chance, and you might not have that chance. That's why you got to take advantage of the moment. Because chances are not promised. Okay? So, hey man, I just keep doing what I do. And either somebody gonna see it or they ain't. So it ain't got nothing to do with me. Because at least I got the courage to express what I'm thinking. There's so many people out here that have winning thoughts and scared to express them. You know, scared about what people gonna say, what people gonna think. So they just rather the idea go to somebody else. And then when that person start making, oh, I thought of that. Damn, how come I didn't do that? Because it came to you first. But you, now you with your modest self, you couldn't embrace it. You didn't want to make yourself look like a fool. And now you regret it. You know, there's some people right now that are regretting 2024 and they ain't even got there yet. And they regretting a new year and still in the old year, but regretting their future. You know, I mean, how bad do things have to be for you that you regret the future? You can't look forward to it. You don't have no hope in it. I mean, how bad do you have to be? And yet, we won't talk to each other. We won't uplift each other. We won't encourage each other. But we'll shop online. We'll still keep making them richer. See, we don't have a problem with that because they keep us lazy. They keep us isolated. See, we'll fall for that. But we won't talk to our neighbor, our family members. See, we won't talk to them. But yet we still make the rich richer. And the rich got you so paranoid with each other, you won't even trust, you believe in the same Jesus and won't even trust each other. And claim you believe in the same Jesus, but you won't trust each other. Something wrong with that picture. And see, when somebody like me come along and start talking about it, now I'm an Uncle Tom. And see, if you knew your history, you would know that on the Underground Railroad, Uncle Tom meant brave warrior. On the Underground Railroad, but yet you fall for the flim-flam because you don't know your own history. And then get mad at the white man because he don't want to teach your history. And yet, but you sit back and let it down the vines. Man, black history is money that's just going to waste. Because don't nobody want to take advantage of it. Don't nobody want to learn it. Don't nobody want to know it. And you got black history all over the world. You got black history. But those stories are not being told. They're not being told. Because then you would see maybe you ain't as bad as they say you were, or got you believing that you no good and you ain't worth nothing. Maybe that's what they want you to believe. And a lot of y'all falling for the flim-flam. It's just that simple. A lot of y'all, too many of y'all, falling for the flim-flam. and then got the nerve to blame somebody else because your lazy ass don't want to pick up a book and find out for yourself. You got to be told. And that's what's wrong with the world. The world done got so lazy that they have to be told rather than them figuring it out themselves. See, they want it ready-made on a silver platter. And when you do that, people will tell you what they want you to know. And what they want you to know might not necessarily be the truth. Okay? Because you are too lazy to do any research. And that's the problem. And they know it. That's why they keep you lazy. That's why they keep you lazy. So they can tell you whatever they want to tell you and you're going to believe it. Whatever narrative they want to, that's what you're going to accept. Because they know you ain't going to put up no resistance. That's where the problem is. See, people have been beat down so they ain't got no more resistance in them. And then when somebody come along and start trying to ring the bell, see, they'll make that person crazy. That's a radical. Don't listen to them. And they telling you the truth. But you won't listen to that. But you'll believe the lies. You'll believe the promises. See, they can tickle your ears. And that's where the world is falling short. Is too many folks are having their ears tickled with gossip, with hearsay, with drama. See, that's what's tickling their ears. That's why they keep it going. Listen, there is first of all, we've seen Trumpism before. We've seen that before. Where no matter, he can do whatever he want to do, and people still gonna support him. You know, and there are some people that would put him back in the White House regardless, because they're gonna feel like he's been targeted. See see what Trump is going through, I call the Marion Barry syndrome. Because we've seen that before with Marion Barry. The city saw Barry smoking crack cocaine on television and still sent him back to the mayor's office. Still sent him back. Sure did. Still sent him back. And you may not know it, but I was a candidate for mayor in that group in '94 when Barry won. I ran for mayor of D.C. See, my thing was I had something to say. It wasn't about winning or losing, but it was about standing up and speaking my mind, saying what's on my mind, because the people that was there wasn't saying what I wanted to hear. See, so let me talk. At that time, you know, I mean, they was that 3-strike program was in high effect, and black men were falling like that. You know, so incarceration was an issue, and rehabilitation. That was an issue. You know, because they would take them and put them in jail, and then don't give them no education, don't give them no future, and just let them fight and prey on each other, and then turn that madness loose into the community. That's how so many black women start coming up with AIDS. Because you got these guys out here now, the first thing they want to do is have this jailhouse sex with a woman. You know? And that's how AIDS spread it among black women. Because you had all these guys on the down low having that jailhouse sex with them. You know, that poo nanny, they don't want. They don't want that. They want that jailhouse sex. Mystery to me, man. It's a mystery to me. It's a mystery to me. I don't understand it, but if that's your preference, God bless you. God bless you. If that's your preference, God bless you. And when you close your eyes, it ain't gonna have nothing to do with me. You can live any kind of life you want to. Cause when you close your eyes, that shit ain't coming to me. It's coming back to you. Okay? So I could care less how you want to live. I can warn you about the consequences, but if you don't want to accept that, that's on you. Ain't got nothing to do with me. And see, now this is where disagreement, this word, and this word start meaning the same. Because when you disagree with that lifestyle, the first thing they say, why you hating on me? I ain't hating on you. I just disagree. I just disagree. And you classifying it as hate. And it ain't hate. Because ain't no passion with this. Ain't no get even with this. We just can't come to a consensus. You know? The poop hole ain't no pleasure palace for me. But that's your pleasure palace. I can't knock that. If that's what you enjoy, God bless you. Because like I said, when you close your eyes, you're gonna have to deal with that, not me. Just like when I close my eyes, how I live my life, man, I'm gonna have to pay for that. And not only am I gonna have to pay for it, but yet I'm still leaving stuff for my children, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren to see, either good or bad. All that stuff that didn't come back to me, it's gonna go to somebody on my bloodline. It's going to somebody. That's why you have to be careful, man. Cause you ain't conscious of what you passing down. Somebody gonna get it. Every good deed you do is not for you. That's for some children you probably never see in your life. When they find themselves in the same circumstance, that's when it's gonna come back. Somebody gonna look out for them just like you looked out. That's why it's always important to do good. Because that's what you're passing down. Okay? And see, I gotta tell you something. See, this is one of the reasons I'm kind of suspect about the Jake saga. See, quietly, his daughter's husband was arrested for having sex with their daughter, for molesting their daughter. I mean, I was shocked about that. And see, right there, that tells you right then something is amiss. Something is amiss. And now it's getting ready to get exposed. And his poor wife, man, I ain't know she must be done had a stroke or something. Because she's on the cane. So he ain't getting much play from that. She walking around with a cane. Ain't no desire in that. And this I'm not a professional. I don't give professional advice. I'm just observation. And you can look at his gut. All that's waste. All that is waste. That's just sitting. All that's waste. So, something. This is not what you want to be cavalier about and take it for granted. This is something that you meet with force, and I just don't see. I don't see the force. I just don't see it. I've seen Jakes talk about a lot of things in that pulpit, and now all of a sudden it's sacred when it comes to you. It wasn't sacred for everybody else, but when it comes to you, the pulpit is now sacred. See, and if that ain't a red flag to you, God bless your soul. God bless your soul. So, and first of all, you should have never put yourself in that position anyway, because you straddling the fence. When you hanging out with sinners. That's the first mistake you made right there. They ain't hanging out with you. You hanging out with them in their environment. How come they ain't hanging out with you in your environment? If you're gonna have some influence and some impact, and that's just how I see it. So you one too many times, man. One too many times. And he got caught up. And let me tell y'all something. I don't care who you are. There's nothing that you can do that somebody don't know about. Let me say that again. I don't care who you are. There's nothing on the face of this earth you can do that somebody don't know about. Think about it. Somebody gonna know. Somebody gonna know. Somebody gonna know. It's just that simple. But again, because we're afraid of each other, we can't attract each other. See, we right now, people need to set aside the bullshit, all this division and animosity, and create environments that people are gonna want to come and visit and spend some money. That's the name of the game right now. Who can you attract to come and visit and gonna spend some money? Because that's the fuel for this engine. And see, and we got so many like I don't think people realize the impact of foreigners not being able to visit the White House now because in order to do a White House visit, you now have to have a security clearance. And the only way you can get a security clearance is through your congressperson or your senator. So that wipes out all of the foreign tourism. And a lot of people was coming to Washington, D.C. just so that they could tour the White House. And now that's been stripped. So we got to depend on tourism from other places. See, we got to look at a different way to now attract foreigners to Washington, D.C. because they can't visit the White House or the Capitol. They can see the outside, but they cannot get on the inside. See, just like the White House, you can see the outside. So since you know they can't get on the inside, why don't you have something at the White House to attract them? Now that you know that they can't come, so have something out there to attract them. Make them want to come to see the outside of the White House. And that's where national anthems come into play. Playing music from other people's countries to introduce each other to each other musically. Because everybody can understand some good music. Everybody understand that. Okay? Everybody understand good music. They sure do. All right, y'all. Man, this is a great day today. This is a full moon today. Man, this is the time you need to be putting some stuff out in the atmosphere, in the universe, while it's raining. Because rain is fertility. And a lot of people, take something like that simple for granted. They look at it as miserable. But you never know, man. And see, and that's the beauty about God. You don't know, man. I don't know, like with this hotel room, I don't know what God is doing. I'm serious. Hey, what's going on? Happy New Year. Man, this is one of my biggest supporters right here. She's one of my biggest supporters right here. This lady right here. And I sure appreciate you too, man, because you have been there when, man, I needed it most. When I needed it most. You was right there, and I didn't have to ask you. That's the beauty of it. See, y'all, let me tell you something. When people really in your corner, you ain't got to ask them for no help, because they're going to be always giving you, making sure you got something in your pocket. See, that's how people that's in your corner treat you. When you got to constantly ask somebody for something, see, they have an agenda. There's a string attached when you have to ask. See, they got a string on it. But they feeding you, buddy, and eventually that hand gonna start coming back this way. Okay? It'll keep feeding you. It'll feed you as long as you're doing, but the minute they start tugging, you got to come, buddy. You can't put up no resistance. So no. Thank you. I will. But seriously, man, we gotta take a look, because now we're competing with the world. Everybody wants somebody to come visit. Everybody looking for somebody to come and visit. And tourism is the backbone of a lot of economies. Let me say that again. Tourism and especially now that DC done lost the Wizards and the Commanders, they going over to Virginia. You might as well say the Commanders are out in Maryland. Now the Wizards are going over to Virginia. So downtown is going to be a ghost town. Now, what you got in place, and you need to start now, setting a foundation with a different kind of attraction. If you proactive, you're going to get started on that now. You ain't going to wait until the team move to start implementing some stuff. You need to be starting now. Setting stuff in place, using it as an attraction for different people to still come. And this is why, see, this is what young people don't understand about crime. See, instead of you going around here carjacking and scaring people, if you had more people coming into town, then that's more jobs. But your dumb ass is scaring people. And not only is it scaring people, but it's scaring away businesses. And now you ain't got nobody trying to hire your lazy ass, because you're sitting down wanting something for nothing. And you're hurting yourself. But ain't nobody telling them, cut that foolishness out. You only hurting yourself. Because now, don't nobody want to come among your dumb ass and spend no money. Because you scaring them. And they are what you need. And you still blaming racism. And look how crime is out of control in the black community. And you got the nerve to talk about racism. See, when we disagree in our community, we kill each other. When we disagree, and yet you ain't got nobody out here you can say, man, stop that foolishness. And let me show y'all what you're doing, what you're missing. I know what I'm saying is right. I've been saying it for years. You know, people just see, and the sad part is, man, ain't no place safe. Ain't no place safe. No place. Only by the grace of God, nobody has snapped around you. But ain't no place safe. And we walking around acting like we ain't got a care in the world. I tell people now, man, this sign touches everybody down here. I know it. I know it. Even you walking by ignoring me, it touches you. My haters, my trolls, the success of this sign is going to help them. And they hate some of them hate my guts. But my success is going to benefit them. That's how powerful this message is. And it should be traveling all over the world. all over the world. Because there's not a man, woman, or child that can identify with this message right here. I told y'all I'm great for tourism. I am great for tourism. But ain't nobody smart enough to see that yet. See, they don't see, all they see is a black man. They don't see a marketing genius. They just see a black man. And whoever sponsor that message right there, gonna get paid. Gonna get paid. I'm telling you, gonna get paid. Because see, I want 80-20, 80% cash, 20% stock. And my goal is to make that 20% stock grow. That's my angle. See, I want some stock. And everybody can't sponsor this. Right now, the fast food industry, alcohol, who else? It's some more, but them two, especially them two. One of them could come up and say, man, I give you $100 million to sponsor this message, and I turn it down. And I'm living in a hotel. I turn it down. Because I don't eat fast food. And I'm not gonna promote something that I myself ain't gonna eat. I'm not gonna they can offer me $100 million right now, and I say no. I don't care how high you go. No. And see, and what people gonna see when somebody finally step up and sponsor this, then you're gonna start seeing people all over the world that's got a picture of me. Then I'll start trending. See, then stop hating each other because you disagree, because of money will start trending. And because I'm the biggest giver this world has ever seen, everywhere I go, what you think I'm gonna be doing? Giving away some money. Helping people out. That's what I'm gonna be doing, no matter where I go. See, you ain't got to come up and ask me for nothing, because I'm always gonna be blessing the people around me. That's why I don't need security. Because ain't nobody gonna let you mess with me when I'm blessing everybody around me. I don't need no security. I don't need no security. The people gonna, and see, and that's one of the things that you don't see. People with money that can live a normal life. They got to get in some gated community. Man, you wasn't knocking on my door when I was struggling trying to get here. Don't fucking knock on my door now. And let me say this now and put this on the table. Man, I ain't seen my wife in 5 years, going on 5 years. And if you see me with my wife, please, 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 respect that. Don't approach me if you ever see me with my wife. That's all I ask. Because I'm trying to make some time up. And that's her time. And if you disrespect that, you're going to get your fucking feelings hurt. Now let me say that shit again. When you see me with my wife, that's her time. Please respect that. And if you don't want to respect that, you're going to get your fucking feelings hurt. It's just that simple. So I want to put that out there now. See me by myself, man, you can approach me all day long. You see me with my wife, leave me the fuck alone. Because that's her time. Okay? And I mean that. And I will make an example out of you too, if you don't want to respect that. Now that's real talk. Okay? That's real talk right there. And sometimes, man, you're going to have to draw the line. Sometimes you're gonna have to stop, show, man, this is as far as you're going right here. This is as far as you go right here. That's not tolerable. All right? And see, and I'm gonna tell you something else. People, learn how to listen to your intuition. This is gonna be vitally important in 2024, that you know what voice to listen to. And all voices in your head don't have your interests in mind. Some of them want to destroy you. And anytime a voice come in your head that's telling you to do something that is destructive, that's not the voice you need to be listening to. Okay? Let me say this again. Whenever you have a voice that come into your head and have you wanting to do something destructive, that's not the voice you want to listen to. Okay? That's not the default voice. The voice you want to listen to is not destructive, nor is it harmful. It ain't gonna hurt you. That's the voice you want to be listening to. Okay? And I'm serious about that. And y'all need to start now getting used to listening to that inner voice you got. Man, and it's a story within itself, but me and my wife used to go and sit in DuPont Park and talk. And in 2020, January 1st, 2020, I was really missing my wife, man. I was missing my wife, man. And I said, man, I'm going to go and just sit where we used to sit and talk. And I pulled up in the parking space. And thinking about my wife. And all I heard was a little still voice say, "Truth conductor." And when I heard that, I was like, whoa, that was my reaction. Whoa. Because everybody used to tell me I look like a conductor. So with truth conductor, I mean, I'm like, let me see if this, I pick up my phone, let me see if this domain is available. And it was, and I bought it. Okay? Man, thank you, man. I pray that come true. My son is gonna take off. My son is gonna take off. And my son is gonna take off. This message is gonna be spread, and people gonna start talking to each other and stop talking at each other. That's what I pray. Man, if I could just get people to start talking to one another and stop talking, and all of us got some isms. All of us got some kind of kink, some kind of sexual kink. All of us got. All notice I said all of us got some kind of sexual kink. Is the only difference is ain't nobody discovered yours yet. Somebody know it, but it ain't been made public. Somebody know it. You got a sexual kink. Somebody know it. Somebody know it. Somebody know it. So that's why I say it ain't nothing. Somebody don't know. Everybody know. Now, everybody don't know your kink, but somebody know it. Somebody know it. Somebody know it. And we all got one. Somebody know it. Okay? So don't think you perfect or yours can't be revealed. but seriously, man, a lot of times we give people more credit than what they deserve. See, a lot of us, for whatever reason, we dismiss the human value of somebody that is famous or rich. You know, we detach them from being human. And they have to eat, drink, sleep, go to the bathroom just like you do. Some of them might not be as frequent as you. And they end up with colon cancer. But on screen, shoot, man, they on top of the world. That's why you got to be careful, man, about what you're idolizing. You know, you got to be careful about that. Who you idolizing? Because everybody can't handle no power. Let me say that shit again. Everybody can't handle power and influence. Everybody can't handle that. Man, do you realize when you got power and influence, man, people will do almost any and everything for you when you got power and influence, and you don't think that don't get exploited? You think there's some people that don't take advantage of that? Exploit that because they know they have the influence? Think about that, man. Everybody can't handle that. Everybody can't handle that. And you know, and we need to be real about that. That everybody can't handle influence and power. But yet, you know, we jump on the judgmental bandwagon. And in some cases, we knew all along. We saw the warning signs. And that's what people aren't paying attention to now, the warning signs. That's why we got so much of this chaos that's going on around us, because people are missing the warning signs. Taking it for granted. Oh, they wouldn't do nothing like that. And they snap. Come on, man. You know, we got a part to play in this. If we're going to get some normalcy among us, we need to get to know us. We need to get to know each other. We need to start introducing our cultures to each other. Because, you know, your culture is just as important for your survival as mine. But just because you embrace your culture should not give anybody else reason to have any objection because you're embracing your culture. And that's your history that you're trying to keep alive. So why should anyone have any problem with you trying to keep some history alive? And that's all you're trying to do is just keep it alive so it don't die on the vines. Because right now, it's just dying on the vines. And as a result, tourism is down, and nobody seems to be able to recognize it. Maybe we might could use this to increase tourism. Maybe instead of hiding this or trying to ban it, maybe we can use it to increase tourism. Because it's just money dying on the vine, so why don't somebody use it? Because the previous history stories, see, you done told them out. You ain't got nothing new. And you getting the same lie after lie after lie, year after year. And you wondering, people getting tired of hearing the same old thing. Give them something new. And some of the same tour routes that you have in the city, people pass by Black history every day and don't even know it exists. I'm going to give you an example. The Pearl Affair of 1838 happened at 6th and Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest, right next door to the Canadian Embassy. All right? Beverly Snow, not the Pearl Affair, the snow riots of 1838. The Pearl Affair was 1848, down at the wharf. That was the Pearl Affair. This is the snow riots of 1835. Now, Beverly Snow, a free black man, had a restaurant called the Epicurean Eating House at 6th and Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest. And this was right after the Nathaniel Turner's uprising. Hold on, I want to make sure I get this information correct. I want to make sure I got this correct. Okay, yeah, I got it right. So this is 1835. Okay, 4 years after the Nat Turner uprising in 1831 down in Virginia. And a young black man was drunk and went into the widow of Dr. William Thornton, who was the architect of the Capitol, saying he had every right to be free. And the rumor spread in D.C. that D.C. had its own Nat Turner. Okay? And this young black man ran off. Now, let me show you something. How things get twisted. See, if you use the name Nat Turner on the Underground Railroad, they wouldn't trust you. Why? Because Nathaniel meant God sent. And he was hanged in Jerusalem, Virginia. Okay? And see, and what you will notice about, and I'm sure this is all over the country, but especially here in D.C., a lot of the black history has a lot of symbolism. What do you mean? Let me give you an example. Now, I was telling you about the snow riots of 1835. Now, the white workers at the Navy Yard went on strike, and it didn't work because the free and enslaved black labor didn't participate. So they started a rumor that Beverly Snow had insulted the wives and daughters by saying he could have any one of them he wanted. Well, when this young black man was arrested, they also arrested a doctor named Reuben Crandall because he had an abolitionist pamphlet in his office. They arrested him too. And you know who the DA of DC was at that time? Francis Scott Key. Another story. He was the district attorney of DC at that time. Yeah, Star Spangled Banner, Francis Scott Key was the district attorney of Washington, D.C. as well. And he was a founding member of the American Colonization Society. They are the ones that felt like black people didn't belong in America. They sent them back to Africa. In fact, it was the American Colonization Society that formed Liberia. A lot of y'all didn't know that. But see, that's why go back is so offensive. Because of the American Colonization Society told black folk, go back to Africa. We don't want you here in America. And some black folk agreed and some didn't. Marcus Garvey agreed. Black folks should go back to Africa. Frederick Douglass didn't. So there's always been a division. There's always been a division. But anyway, let me show you the symbolism. So Beverly Snow gets wind that his restaurant is being ransacked and looted, and some of his white friends help him to escape to Toronto, Canada. A year later, Absalom Shedd, another black man, came and bought the same restaurant. The Shedd family is responsible for buying land in Canada for runaway slaves to escape on the Underground Railroad. Now, isn't it ironic? What's going on? Isn't it ironic? That's where the Canadian Embassy sit, right next to where the snow riots happened, at 6th and Pennsylvania Avenue. And that's the only embassy that you'll find in downtown D.C. because Reagan gave them that land when he helped with the Iranian hostage crisis. That's how they got the land. Okay? The snow riots of 1835. Look it up. And that's history that's just dying on the vines because ain't nobody telling it. Nobody's telling it. It's just dying on the vines. You know, in the Senate circle, there's a statue called the Peace Memorial. It's America crying on the shoulders of history, who's reading off all of the names of the naval Civil War dead. But in the 1830s and 40s, that was an actual slave auction block. So when I see that statue, I see America crying on the shoulders of history, who's reading off all of the names of the families that was broken apart right there in that same location. See, there's a lot of symbolism with the black history in D.C. I'll give you another example of the symbolism. See, it was the 14th Amendment of the Constitution that gave black folk their freedom. Well, where's the Black History Museum located? 14th and Constitution Avenue. Okay, and it moved out of Southeast. It moved out of Southeast DC to downtown. So we have a lot of cities all over the country where Black history is just dying on the vines because nobody's telling it. And look at the tourism. It could be attracting. And this is black and white. Because you can't separate the two stories, man. When you only get one side of the story, you're getting half of it. And that's why my tours tell the whole story of DC. See, because mind you, we had a 10 o'clock curfew in Washington City, Georgetown, and Alexandria. We had a 10 o'clock curfew, man. If you were caught out on the street after 10, you were issued a $5 fine. If you didn't pay that fine, you got 6 months in jail. And $5 at that time was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. Okay? A lot of money. So that's what we had to deal with. And unfortunately, crime in the city is out of control because we ain't teaching these young kids the value of where they are. We're not teaching them any value. We're not showing them just what they have and who they are. We're not showing it to them. Okay? We're not showing it to them. So you can't blame them for acting out when ain't nobody taught them. You can't blame them. How can you blame them when ain't nobody taught them? They don't know. They're ignorant. And see, and we're trying to correct the problem with punishment. And punishment, there's some punishment that is in order. But, if you're going to correct a negative, can't correct a negative. Only a positive can correct a negative. And because we got so many negative viewpoints right now, people are afraid to put positive up against it. And that's the only thing that's going to balance it. It's positive. But yet, we still trying to use negative to balance negative. And only positive can balance negative. But, people don't want to see it that way. People don't want to give anything different a chance. And that's all I've been trying to say is, man, get something different a chance. Because what you're doing ain't working. So if what you're doing ain't working, why don't you try some new ideas? What have you got to lose? I mean, think about it. What have you got to lose? Trying something different when what you're doing ain't working. And I'm talking to myself as well. I'm talking to myself as well. You see, so, and here we coming to a brand new year. What you gonna do different? That's a good question. What are you gonna do different in 2024 that you didn't do in 2023? Because if you end up where you started out at, you didn't grow. You didn't grow. When I started out 2023, I didn't have pictures with Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani and Peter Navarro. I didn't have pictures with them, with with a lot of the celebrities. I didn't have pictures with them when I first started out. I could have been content. Just sit down at the White House. I could have been content. But I got out and tried to make something happen the best way I knew how. That's the only thing. And see, and that's what I think a lot of people are hesitant about, is doing it the best way they know how. They too caught up on what somebody else is thinking. Do it the best way you know how to do it, and then you learn from it. Okay? Because it's your mistakes that you learn from. And if you make a mistake and it didn't destroy you, you're a good person. You're a good person. Because the Bible says a good man can fall 7 times and get back up again. But the wicked fall once and be destroyed. Okay? So don't count yourself out, man. 2023 is still in effect. And all it takes is just one day for a miracle. All it just takes is one day. And you got, what, 6 more days left? No, how many days? 4 more days left. You got 4 more days left. Don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out. Don't count your new year out. It's some folk, man, they done gave up on 2024. Edward, man, thank you. Happy New Year to you, man. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. There's some folk, man, they done gave up on 2024, and they still in 2023. And they counting themselves out in 2024. Done counted themselves out. Won't even give themselves a chance. Come on, man, give yourself a chance. Stop, wishing the worst and see the best. Because it's there. It's there for you. Good is there for you. But you have to want it. Okay? All right. I got some cabbage, man. I'm going to finish stir fry and get me some quinoa. Throw it on, and boy, it's time to enjoy. Don't be afraid of your intuition. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of your intuition. Get to know that voice. Because that's what it's going to either protect you or it's going to lead you. And see, let me tell you why you need to know your intuition. This is Proverbs chapter 8. I'm going to read verse 19, 20, and 21. My fruit is better than gold, yes, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I traverse the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of justice, that I may cause those who love me to inherit wealth, that I may fill their treasuries. Man, when God calls you something to happen to you, you're in the right place at the right time. when God start causing you, there ain't nothing you doing, but you listening to your intuition. And the voice tell you turn right here and you do. And tell you stop right here and you do it. Call this person and you do it. And God just orchestrate different things in your life. And these are ways you have no idea. And he's orchestrating in your favor. All right? Man, be blessed. I'll see y'all later.